everyone, and welcome to Hooray, It's Thursday with Courtney. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia, and every Thursday, most Thursdays let's say, around 3ish, I like to go live so I can share some of the goodies that I have from our latest Stampin' Up offerings with you. So today is 24th of February 2022, and I'm actually going to play with some of our Saleabration goodies today, so I'm hoping that there's a few people that can join us. I know I usually get a couple of people. Saleabration's the time of the year that I actually really enjoy because, well, I like getting more bang for my buck, and I don't know about you guys, but it's always a win if you can get something free. So during Saleabration, we'll give away free goodies. For every $90 you spend, you get a free stamp set or some designer series paper. And they often have level 2. So if you spend $180, you get one of the level 2 items. And that's what I'm focusing on today. So one of the level 2 items, which happens to be my favorite, is a stamp set and designer series paper combo. For those that watched last week, we did on the road and we did no stamping, but I just did a quick share on my way out to Scone. I was going away for a girls' weekend scrapbooking. So I've got one of the pages that I created whilst I was away that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to turn it into a card. So let's see how we go. It's using the brand new Friendly Hello free stamp set and designer series paper from the Saleabration catalogue. So I'm going to turn this camera around and we'll get stamping. Okay, so hold tight. Let's go. Close your eyes if you get seasick, but a little bit of look outside, down to my desk where I've got a few little goodies set up. All right, just get that so that it's all in a good spot for you. Hopefully you can all see that. What do you reckon? Can you see that okay? Yeah, I think it doesn't look too bad. So I've just got a few little pieces here. I've got the Friendly Hello stamp set. At the moment, it's teamed up. If you spend $180 in any products in the Stampin' Up catalogues that are available, or the kits collection, there's a whole heap of stuff available online that you won't find in the catalogue, so make sure you check it out. You can always tick the yes, I know a demonstrator and plug in my name. You only have to put in Court and I will come up if you're in Australia, so you don't actually have to remember how to spell my name, but that's okay. Or you can put in Houston, and it's spelt in an unusual way as well, but you know, just put in Court to say that you know a demonstrator and you'll be able to shop straight online with me there. This stamp set has a photopolymer stamp set. My husband told me to make sure I was super organised, which I think I am. I just don't have a block. But, you know, them's the breaks. I know where they are. I'll go and grab one in a sec. So, the Friendly Hello stamp set and this beautiful packet of 12 sheets of designer series paper. They're all double-sided, and you get 2 sheets of each. So, what I might do is put that up there, pop that to the side. I've also brought in some Stampin' Blends because we're going to do some colouring. And I've cut up all my bits ready. I've got my mat because it's a photopolymer stamp set and we need that. So because there's no rubber on the foam, but no like foam support on the photopolymer set, so they need this support. This is the page that I'm copying. This is the page that I did on one of the pages I did on my weekend away. Let me see if I can just get that right into the picture there for you. Okay, so this is my Tara, and that was taken at a wedding, that photo, and I just thought it was a really beautiful photo. Yes, it's got a filter on it, but that's okay. I still thought it was a really pretty stamp, sorry, you can hear my stamp, I just grabbed my blocks, you can hear them all jiggling around. A really pretty photo of her, and I've used the designer series paper. You can't get these from Stampin' Up, they're bit of contraband there, but don't worry about them. I've also used the elements from I think it's Artistic Expressions in Ink Emphemera pack and a Memento ink pad. So I'm thinking that we can recreate this card quite nicely and quite quickly. So hopefully you all like my page. I love my page. My daughter loves my page, and really that's who I do them for. So I cut these out on my laser machine just because I can. So I'll just pop that to the side, and let's get, oh, that's okay. Not a problem, Diana. She's watching with no sound, so she's going to catch up later, but that's cool. Thank you for the love of the page. So let's make this card. I've got my black cardstock to go as my black back, because now Stampin' Up doesn't sell black 12 by 12 cardstock any longer. We keep asking for it to come back, but I don't know if anyone's tried it yet, and I have on the weekend. If you use Memento with our blending brushes along the edges of any color cardstock, I chose a dark one, you do end up with quite a dark black background. All right, so you can get it if you're that keen, or if you don't have any leftovers from when you hoarded it last time. Okay, but it does work. And it works best with the blending brushes. You can use a dauber, but it takes ages. Okay, so I've got this here. Oh, what I did forget, and I'll show you at the end, I found the stamp set I was talking about last week. Now, I've also cut out, I've got a couple of little things in my stash. So I brought over, this is Ornate, the Ornate Layers dies. They're from the annual catalogue. I'm not sure if you've seen them, but look at them all. There's, I was going to say hundreds, but there's not. It tells you on the pack how many there is. There's 8 in here. So I've pulled out this one here, and I've cut this frame. Isn't it pretty? Because I didn't want to wobble the table, and you've all seen me die cutting before. You know that we've got one of the greatest die cutters that there is available on the market at the moment, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. You know that you can get it as part of your kit. You know, the kit's $169. The Cut and Emboss is $209, but because you get $235 worth of product in your kit, you can whack the Cut and Emboss in there and a couple embossing folders and whatnot to bring you up to the $235, and then you got a bargain. What do you reckon? Yeah? Did you get all that? So, like the scrapbooking page, I'm going to put this on the back. Isn't that pretty? Both sides of this designer series paper are really pretty. I just love how subtle the little dotty things are. And if you go that way, they're actually all in a line. I'm not sure if you can see that, but so that's why I cut it so that they weren't, because I like them a bit higgledy-piggledy. They're sort of a bit off-center. The little black dots are in a line, but the other one, and they are sort of in a line, but not as noticeable as that. Okay, so we'll adhere this to the paper, to my cardstock. Less is best. Don't get too close to the edges. Hold your tongue in the correct spot so that you know it doesn't, so that it goes on straight and square. Okay, so I'll just pop that to the side. Okay, and I've cut these little bits up here. So that's the other side of that. I've cut them all to the same size. I'm actually thinking now, looking at that, I'm going to lose a lot of that paper, and I don't necessarily want to. So I'm thinking I probably need to trim this one down a bit, because that's going to sit over there like so. Let's trim this one down. Okay, that's the best bit. You can just play. I mean, it looks beautiful still. There's no reason why you need to trim it down. These little guys here match this little flower there. See that one? And I reckon I could probably stamp that straight over the top of it, and it'll look pretty cool. But for this card, I don't want to. That was 2 inches. So I'm thinking we might cut it down to 1.5 inches. What do you reckon? Just take a little bit off. I love the back of that. That's the this here does not do that piece justice. Actually, doesn't do any of them justice. It's such beautiful designer series paper. Let's put that back behind me, and I'm thinking that looks pretty. That looks a bit better. All right. So pop this piece down first. And I've got another weekend retreat coming up in a few weeks. Again, I leave on a Thursday, but I think I'm planning to leave a little bit later on that one. So I'll just pop this on here, just so that I get to see most of that row of dots there. Wiggle it a bit, just so it fits nicely. Make sure it... Wow, that's as crooked as a dog's hind leg. How did I do that? Because my dots fed me into a false sense of security, I think. I'm going to take your pick tools over on the table. Can I rescue it? There's a little bit of wiggle room in glue. Not a lot, but enough that you saw nothing. Might need some more glue. But it wasn't straight. I can't have it if it's not straight. And poor Diana's looking at this thinking, what'd she just do that for? Because she can't hear. Let's get that bit off. Just wipe it on my leg. No one will know the difference. All right, let's see. That's better. Oh, that's better. Now it's straight. Okay. Don't mind me. Okay, and then I'll just pop this bit here on. And I'm going to butt it up against that piece there. Oh, I've got glue on my fingers, so they're a bit sticky. And just because I can, and I know my eye will get drawn to it, I want that colour piece up the top. See how when I've trimmed it, this bit's got white down the bottom and that's got a little bit of the pool party up there? I wanted that up there. Now for this piece, because I want it to land smick in the middle there, all right, I'm actually going to put the adhesive on here. And that's actually very unusual for me because I normally put adhesive, and I always say to my ladies and my friends that come, adhesive goes on your smallest piece. And that means that then that you don't end up with bits of adhesive all stuck to your, like you don't put the adhesive too close to your edge. I'm just smoothing. I don't know if you saw when I trimmed this, because I've trimmed it up that way, so there's like a little edge on my paper, which I've now just smoothed out with my bone folder. And then I want to hold my tongue straight and put that baby on there. Like so. Whoops, pushed it too far. See what I mean? It's got a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so what do you reckon? Can you see it? It's looking pretty good. Looks the same. Yes, I've got a great big space over here, but that's okay. All right. And then I thought that could go on the top, but man, it's huge. I didn't realize how huge it was going to be. And I was going to put this on here. And I was going to cut. I still think I'm going to like that. Okay, so let's show you. All the stamps now have all the pictures in the bottom. So you could essentially ditch these pieces, but I don't know, maybe it's the hoarder in me that likes to keep them. So what you can do with this stamp set and with this bundle is on the back of this design of this piece, which has got the stripes on it, which I love the stripes, but I also like that, you can actually stamp on it. All right. So they're good dies, aren't they? So you can actually stamp on this piece, and it looks really cool. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to cut these 2 flowers out, and they're going to go down here. And I'm thinking it might be a bit big, my piece, but I need all this space for what else I want to do. So we're just going to go with it. So that's those 2. They fit perfectly onto the stamp. They stamp perfectly onto that there, and then you can cut them out. There is only 1 leaf, which happens to just be this one here, not the big ones. Now, so I'm going to use those, but I'm going to cut this. I'll just cut this one out quickly. Yes, you have to fussy cut it out. I will tell you it is easier to fussy cut out when you're not talking, let me say. I'm going to go around here because I'm going to cut those leaves separately, which means you can get all the other bits as well, like where there's edge. See, like I could stamp over those leaves and I could still get them because I can use them to stick out from underneath something, or I can shove them further in underneath the flower, which is probably what I do this time because I want them to, I don't have as big a canvas to work with this time as I did on my 12 by 12. So on the 12 by 12, I had lots and lots of flowers and lots of leaves. I essentially made myself an ephemera pack with the flowers and leaves from this paper, and then added the gold elements from the ephemera pack that's in the catalogue, because there's something nice about gold. And then of course there's all the little sparkly gems. Let's get rid of that big piece. When you're cutting with fussy cutting, I like to move my paper because it's easier than moving my scissors. So yep, you're going to sit on there. I am going to cut this leaf out, these leaves out. And the neater you go, the better. It's a little bit rough, but you need it to be relatively a smooth action as you go around your flowers, so that you don't end up with these great big chunky bit, like, I don't know, cuts. They're not sharp. So it's easier to work with a smaller piece. Okay, let's see, that's better. Doesn't matter if you chop the tips off your leaves, nobody's going to notice. And that's the best bit about handmade cards. The person that you're giving it to, they don't know. If you've made 10 of them, they don't know if one's a little bit different to the other. Actually, they don't care. They just love the fact that you've taken the time to make them a card. Well, that's what I find anyway. And that's what I think when I've received them. It's like, oh, wow, thank you for making me a card, and thank you for thinking of me when you did. So I'm actually going to slip that piece in underneath there, so you can see that it sort of sneaks out a little bit. And I do want at least 1 of these leaves, maybe 2. So I did have a little knobby thing which seems to have developed some legs. There it is, because I haven't decided if I want that as well. On the scrapbook page, I used, there's some little backgroundy, like some elements in the stamp set that there's like little spots of, rather than flicking ink at it, you can actually just stamp someone. It's supposed to be randomly, but yeah. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I don't normally, I'm going to send this, I'm going to hope you have the best birthday. I don't normally send Hello Friend cards, although I do have someone I could send it to. Because that's actually a really nice, big sentiment. Look at that. That fits perfectly there. And then, really, you wouldn't need to do much more. Or I could, which is what I was planning, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop a birdie on there. So yep, this has just become a birthday card because those words are the ones that fit. What do you reckon? Hope you have the best birthday. There's also love and support, and where's my little dots? And I do like these little dots. So they don't fit on that one, they fit on block G. My birthday sentiment actually needs, that one's too big. It needs this block. And my birdie, I'll put the flowers away. My birdie needs this block. Okay, so let's do some stamping, hey? Some stamping and some colouring. All right, I need my mat. For those that couldn't hear me before or weren't around before, when you're stamping with photopolymer, you need something soft and squishy under you. Okay, I do have an inside here somewhere, and I've got, I should put my lid on my thing, my ink on my glue. Okay, so I'm actually going to send my bird. Let's put the sentiment on first. Hopefully this ink pad's nice and juicy. Hope you have the best birthday. Hope you're straight. Oh, I stuck my finger on it. Okay, there's two sides to every piece of cardstock. This side's got like a bit of a lip on it from where I have cut it. So I'll just stitch that. Okay, and now I'll try again. Hope you have the best birthday, and Courtney, keep your grotty fingers away from it. Please be straight. Sweet as. Okay, so one's straight. The bigger stamps, especially with the Memento, because the stamp pad's so little, I do have a tendency to go on them like this. And I don't find that I squish it. And you saw that, didn't see anything. I don't get so much on the edge of my block when I do that, because I don't have the tendency not to rock. Okay. And I want my birdie about there. One birdie. While I'm here, what I'm going to put on the inside and the front. I think the flowers, but I'm going to put the little flowers. So I'll just stick a couple of little flowers in there, and I'm just going to put some flowers there. Okay, might stick some of these around the little flowers. Oh no, it's not going to work for me. Okay, so one thing I did do around the other area is I added some dots. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to put them like so. Okay, and because you won't see much of them, but it just makes it just a little bit. Okay, now what I'm going to do, when you're colouring in these flowers with your blends, if you're colouring the envelope, it'll go through. So colour the envelope really lightly, like be gentle. So the Memento is water-based, the blends are alcohol based, so you can colour the you can colour in, and it won't move the Memento, but it does go through. So you don't want to press too hard because you don't want to come all the way through your envelope. So that's the pale papaya. These are the granny apple green, which happens to be the same colour that's in the designer series paper. Just used a little light one to add a little bit of, I'm only putting a little bit, so I'm not fully colouring the leaves in. I've just added a little bit of colour. I'm not sure if you can see that. So there's a little bit of white in there. Can you see what I'm talking about? Okay. It'll probably be easier to see on the birdie one when I've done it. Just so there's a little bit of colour. And on the birdie in here as well. I think that ink pad might be a tad juicy. Just give a little bit of colour to that. Pop. This is the dark Stampin' Blends. I'm popping it in the middle. And this is the light. Oops. So I'm just using it to highlight a bit. I'm not completely doing the whole petal. I'm just doing a little bit of the petal. Okay. So a little bit of the petal. Okay. And then this one here is Pool Party. Now Pool Party is fairly light. When you use the light one, it is anyway. So I'm actually going to colour my birdie in a little bit with Pool Party, but I'm only putting a little bit. I don't want him too dark because he's going to be a subtle birdie. Might be darker down the back end of him there. So just a little bit of colour. Okay. And then, now there is a white colour lifter, which of course is on the other side of the room, which you could use if you wanted to take some of the colour away. But I'm going to deliberately try not to put too much colour on him because I don't want to need to take any colour away. So he's only a subtle little birdie. Okay, I'm going to use this stamp again, and I'm just going to put a couple of little dots around here. I try not to get them on my mat, not because, no, that didn't work, not for any other reason, the fact that if they're on the mat, they don't dry. Because this is, I don't know, it's like a foamy, plasticky stuff. And because they don't dry, they come off on your fingers, see? Which means then they come off on your cardstock. So that so far is my birdie. So if you're looking at my other card, that so far would be my picture. And and I've just having to tell my mum's friend who's going to pop in now it's not good. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm just pulling out, see all these little bits? They're like the little waste bits from in here, but don't throw them away, okay? Because you can use them. And they just make a nice little element. I'm thinking I might only use this one, just to give a bit of something. Might put it on that side. Oh, might put it up here on this side. Actually, you know what? Let's use that one on that side. Although that little one there is probably, yeah, let's use this little one out of this piece. These are laser cut and they just got the tiniest little bit that holds them in. Like so. Okay. And then I think I might put this one back and use this one. Now, they're plain on one side. They don't have sticky on them. So you have to add sticky. when I'm adding sticky to these, because they're so tiny, I just get a little bit of glue onto the end of my Tombow multi-purpose glue. Right, so just a tiny little smidge, and just wipe a little bit on there because I don't want it to go everywhere. I do end up putting some on here just to hold it down, and you can barely see it. Now I'm going to put that there like so. Hopefully, probably should have put it down a bit more, but that's all right. I'm going to put that up there. So I've got a little extra bit of room down the bottom, which means this bit here, I'm going to put there like so. Okay. And again, just a little bit on the end here, and the tiniest little bit under there. And I wanted to put it in line with that. So essentially I'm only sticking the little ends down. Okay. Now this baby is going to end up with, I decided that was very decorative and very pretty, but I'm going to cover most of it up. I did have a piece here in case I wanted to do a little piece on the inside, but when I was playing initially I didn't think it was going to work, and I couldn't fit my birdie on it properly, so hence this piece. I'm thinking that whole piece needs to be up, so this bit here, see how it comes through? That's why you've got to be careful on the envelope. This piece here I'm actually going to stick down, and I don't want it to come out my holes. This piece here I'm going to stick down on here, like so. And that way, hopefully it doesn't come through. So yeah, okay. And then under here, while I've got the glue out, I'm going to put this in here like so. And just do that. And then I'm going to put, if I remember correctly, this piece was going down here in this corner. This is going to sit on top of that. Coming together, hey? Right. Dimensionals are on the table here. Let's pop some of these on here. Okay. And again, my puppies. I've just seen my dear daughter. I gotta tell her she's not allowed in here. That's what they're gonna do. Okay, this one's gonna go on here like so. Okay, now I have put it up to the top a little bit more. That's because I didn't put that down far enough, but that's all right. And that's because I wanted to put this on here. So you could add more dimensionals. I'm not going to. I'm actually going to put them on flat. Because of where it sits, it's only going to go here. Now I do think it needs more little bits of green. So somewhere here, remember how we had this piece? On my big one, on my page, I also put, oops, I stamped on it as well. I stamped some of the leaves, but there wasn't enough real estate, for want of a better word, on here. So I figured I couldn't do it. So that could go under there, but I'm actually thinking that it needs to go, oh, it's too late now, I've put a little bit of glue there. Might put it there. Okay. And voila, one birthday card. What do you think? Hope you like it. Just get my mess out of the way. Put my envelope with it. So we've got the inside. And I think it looks fairly similar to my scrapbook page. What do you reckon? Oh, I know what I didn't put. There's a leaf somewhere on the table. Where's that cut up leaf? I don't know where it's gone. But there you go. No, my leaf has to, oh, there it is. That could go anywhere I wanted it. Maybe over here. I don't know. Doesn't look like it works, that leaf. Yeah, under there it works. Oh, disappeared. Okay, so I'll just put a little bit of glue on that. Since I took the time to cut it. And I'll stick it under there. Okay, and voila. There we have one card for Hooray, It's Thursday. And that's all using, all I've essentially added to my set was the ephemera pack, the Stampin' Blends, my tuxedo ink, my Memento. Excuse me for a minute. Hey! That'll last 2 minutes, you watch. And the free paper and the free stamp set. Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining me. Hope to see you next week. And if you'd got any questions or you want to know anything, just ask me a question. I'll get back to answering them after. I now need to go and yell at my dog. All right, so I'll just turn this camera around and you can see her being a big tough dog over there. And we'll say, see you later from Hooray, It's Thursday. Yes, look at you over there. She's a very cute little dog, but that's all right. And I'll see you all later. Thanks for joining me. Bye.